Hello and welcome to Getting Candid with me, your girl Helen. Now my guest, the last time we sat together and chat was 6 years ago. So much has happened in 6 years ago. I was telling him I have had 2 babies in 6 years. But guys, I'm talking about El. You know, after 6 years I still can't pronounce his name. So let's talk about El Mukuka on the other side. Now, for those that don't know El Mukuka, he's a Zambian DJ and producer. He's been touring the world, playing in different places, and they just want to know what's been happening, what's been up to, what he's bringing to Zambia, and what else. He recently launched a new gin. I want to know about that. Hi, El Mukuka.
Hey, Helen. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. How are you?
Good. I feel like I haven't seen you in years. I mean, obviously, we did the last one 6 years ago, but I haven't seen you face to face in what? Since COVID, probably.
Is it since COVID? I mean, before COVID.
Yeah, maybe before.
Sure, probably. I think the last gig I attended, your gig should be 2018-19, somewhere there.
Yeah.
That's the last time I saw you.
We need to fix that.
Yeah, we should very fast. You know, I was watching our previous interview and I just realized that I haven't learned how to pronounce your name because I still pronounce it. I still say Eleftherios Mkuka, and then I realized in the last video you corrected me and you said
Therios. There's a trick. Elephant. Comes from elephant, yeah.
Oh my God. You know, I used to think I'm one of those people that could pronounce it because I was just saying, oh, Eleftherios. So until you say, and then I watched it, I'm like, oh my God, stop pronouncing it.
You know what it means, right?
No.
It means freedom.
Freedom.
In Greek, comes from the Greek word eleftheria, which is the female version of my name. So women in Greece that have my name have that name, and the men have mine.
Nice. But I think you did well to shorten it to El Mukuka.
Yeah, El Mukuka was necessary. Yeah, 2016 when that happened, everything just made sense.
It made sense, and people have just gotten like El Mukuka is just like it's
easy.
It's only a few of us that will try to still want to pronounce the full name because we like a challenge. How have you been though?
I'm well. It's been perhaps the most adventurous year of my life. 2024. So much has been going on. So many decisions. I mean, life is just a series of decisions, right?
Yeah.
Small, medium, big, that then have impact on our life in one way or another. And so decisions is not a new thing, right? We all make decisions, but I feel like the decisions I've been making the last 12 months have been some of the most adventurous.
What are some of those big decisions?
Well, firstly, the launch of my own gin, 1964 gin.
I know, love the name.
This was a big step, a bold step, a brave step. So my partners and I came up with this product 11 months ago. Actually, almost 11, like next week will be 11 months. And then in December, on the 20th, we clock our first year of being in business.
Nice.
And just looking at the hurdles we had to go through, the kind of pressure I put the team through to launch before Christmas. I told them, guys, if we don't launch before Christmas 2023, this doesn't make sense for me. So we were pushing and pushing, and you know, these challenges don't stop.
But firstly, I want to know why you decided to come up with your own gin.
Yeah.
Like, what's the story behind that?
So as a musician, I've been working and rubbing shoulders with alcohol brands for many years now. Many years, close to 10 years. Mostly beer companies, but also gin companies and even vodka companies. And during COVID, I had a lot of time to think and reflect about my career, about the state of the industry, about what I was endorsing, and just also look at the Zambian market, you know, from a holistic point of view. And I realized we don't really have much of our own. We don't have many Zambian stories to tell. And that's a sad thing. And when you look at the alcohol sector, there's not much premium alcohol out there that is proudly Zambian owned, you know. And when I realized this, I said, well, I mean, after building what I have over the last almost 12 years in this industry, it makes sense to finally launch something Zambian. And of course, I needed a team behind me. I wasn't able to do this on my own, so I picked 2 partners who've been incredibly helpful in bringing this vision to life. I mean, this would not be possible without them and the teamwork that we have put in. But essentially, we've created a product that is a symbol of Zambian pride, Zambian freedom, and for me personally, the most important thing is a symbol of Zambian excellence, because that's what we lack many times. You know, when you look at most Zambian products and the impression that they have, the perception they have in the market, when you think of a Zambian product, you're like, okay, it's like the B option. You know, it's like, okay, if I don't find this
Then
international one,
yeah.
then at least, you know.
You're right, you're right.
What do you mean at least? I
Yeah.
mean, we're Zambian. We have everything it takes to create the same level of products that other human beings are making. I mean, we're all the same, right? Made in the image and the likeness of God. I mean, we are equal. So what makes Zambians incapable of producing excellence when it comes to the products? And that was the big mandate for us, you know, to create something that will bring a sense of pride to our fellow Zambians and something I can stand by and literally put my neck on the line for and say, this product, I stand by it because I stand by the quality, I stand by the vision, I stand by what it symbolizes. And from an influencer point of view, you can never ask for more if you have a stake in the actual product that you are endorsing. And year one has been phenomenal. The reception has been incredible. Of course, it's a highly competitive market. We have a lot of competition and we're a baby brand. We're not even 1 year old. But we believe in this. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. We're here for the long run. This is gonna be part of our legacy, part of my legacy, 1964 gin. And hopefully this will inspire more Zambians to scratch their heads and say, wait a minute, in my sector, what kind of products are Zambian? What kind of products are Zambian owned? How can I add to this?
Yeah.
And hopefully inspire some other people.
Nice. When I saw that, I was like, wow. Firstly, the name got my attention, and I think that should be number one. How you name your brands speaks a lot. I don't think you even need an explanation to say what 1964. I think every Zambian knows that 1964 obviously is the year Zambia got its independence. But maybe just for the people that don't really know, maybe the people that are non-Zambian and they are watching this, they really want to know the significance behind 1964 and why you decided for that, because you would pick anything Zambian.
Yeah, you know, because I'm Bemba, I was thinking of a Bemba name.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, Zambians are gonna say, yeah, you know, Mukuka's gin, it's nice, but it's a tribalistic gin.
You wanted something that could cover for
everyone. I could
everyone.
hear that in my head. I was like, no, I ain't about this life. So I wanted to create a name that every Zambian would identify with. Actually, whether they're alcohol drinkers or not, whether they're gin drinkers or not. And 1964 goes further than just the year of our independence. It's also a symbol of regional independence, regional freedom, because Zambia was the first country in this region to get its independence and then supported and aided our neighboring countries to get theirs. So 1964 is a regional symbol. It's not just a national symbol. And that will, of course, help our campaign as we start to spread into our neighboring countries and export the brand. But it's a heavy symbol that every Zambian will identify with. And
Definitely.
I think that's our secret ingredient.
Definitely.
Well, it's a public ingredient now.
You know, now I'm thinking, like, I'm always wondering, you know, like, I love gin and I love wine. I'm always thinking about the process of making that, how you're picking ingredients. How was it for you, and how did you know this is what I want, this is fine, this is what we need?
Yeah. So we added a local botanical, which is mabuyu, the fruit of the baobab.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is classified as a citrus fruit.
Is
we
it?
have, and we have a lot
never
of
knew that.
orange. So all the orange we have in 1964 plus the mabuyu makes it super citrus. You know, just smelling it is enjoyable. And then of course when you take your sip, and with craft gin, the beautiful thing is, the difference between craft gin and commercial gin is that craft gin is done with a little bit more love and care. You know, it's labeled by hand, it's still bottled by hand. We produce in the thousands as opposed to commercial gins that are producing in the millions. We spend a bit more time developing our recipe in terms of the notes we wanted it to have, and also the cultural connection we wanted it to have. So with craft gin, if you really like your gin, you can drink it neat with some ice, for example. Yeah, you don't have to put tonic.
Nice.
And of course, if you do put a tonic water, then you want to pick a nice tonic, because a bad tonic or too much tonic will just dilute the gin and manipulate the taste.
Yo, that explanation, guys, makes you want to taste the gin so bad. But congratulations, that's a huge step, and I wish you the best. I'm happy that people are receiving this very well on the market. We hope it grows. And are you exporting?
I have a gift for you. No, we're not exporting yet. That is coming soon. But I have a gift for you. I don't know if my brother can help me out. There's a bottle I brought for you.
It's there.
Ah, right here.
Love it.
1964, Helen.
Thank you. I love my gin, by the way. So this came at the right time.
You've got to let me know what you think.
I'm definitely going to let you know. And I love the branding. You know, everything just looks so spatial. And this, like you said, it gives you pride as a Zambian. Because everywhere I go, and I have foreign friends that come, I'm definitely going to make them taste this. Where can people find it though?
In so many locations, almost every restaurant, every credible liquor store, in 11 Pick and Pay outlets, all the blue Pick and Pays, which are the premium stores, Melissa Supermarket, and we continue expanding. Mostly in Lusaka, we're also in the Copper Belt, a little bit in Livingston and some of the hotels and lodges. But again, we've only been in business for 11 months, so give us some time to spread.
No, you've actually done so much in 11 months. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys, let's support our own. I'm definitely going to try this and
Thank you.
I will give you feedback. I'll actually
Yes.
post my feedback on social media.
Do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. You have been busy, not just with the gin, but you have been traveling. You have been touring. Just tell us about that. And you know, it's not common for DJs like Zambia. I see other DJs in the Western world, they tour a lot, but we don't have our local DJs touring yet. But you have been touring. How did that start and how is it going?
So I think like regional touring for me began about 5-6 years ago. I would play in East Africa, especially Mozambique, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and of course Zambia. Zimbabwe was always, you know, that country that has, you know, been in my touring route for some time, but never anything past that, you know. South Africa occasionally, but nothing past that. 3 years ago, I made a bold decision to set up a European base in Spain. So literally put one foot in Spain and leave one foot in Zambia. And that really opened the doors internationally for me to start touring around the world, specifically Europe, but also the Middle East, Asia, and of course even more in Africa, because it's like a domino effect. You know, when the more you tour, the more inquiries you get. You know, it's like money comes to money, you know, hype comes to hype. People want to be attracted and connected to that hype, to whatever it is that is going on. And that's just a universal principle in life. You know, positivity comes to positivity. It's you know, like with like.
I like that. Positivity comes to positivity.
And so this year, for example, has been the biggest year in my career in terms of touring. I've almost done, I think, 12 countries, most of which happened during the European summer months, all the way from Central Asia to the far western part of Europe, to the Middle East, to Africa. It's been a blessed year. I'm so grateful, working hard, working my ass off, but loving it, you know, and I'm trying to do the best. I understand everything in life is a gift, and although sometimes it might feel overwhelming, we do need to just check ourselves. Maybe try and imagine looking at ourselves from a point of view of like being 5 years younger, 10 years younger, and saying, wow, okay, that's pretty cool, you know? And then jumping back into the moment and saying, look, I need to appreciate this more, because this is what I've asked for, this is what I've prayed for, this is what I've been dreaming about. And of course, like, I feel like I'm just warming up, honestly speaking.
I would believe that.
I'm just starting to open my wings now.
I've been seeing your social media and you have been busy, but in your busy schedule, one thing I'll give it to you is that you still give us music. You're still producing music. And how do you manage your time? Because you're touring here, you have to be in the studio to give us music. How are you managing your time?
I'm still figuring it out. I think one challenge I have is turning my mind off. So I've never been very good at that. I didn't really grow up with a mother who showed me how to do that well. You know, she's a bit of a workaholic, so that mindset has kind of been instilled in me from a young age. But I'm working on it, and I know it's important. You know, if you don't disconnect, if you don't turn off, you just burn out. And this industry I'm in is high wear and tear. High wear and tear.
That's true. That's true. You have been very consistent, and that has been great. But are you still signed under Sony Music?
No, so Sony and I have parted ways. I'm independent now, and what's exciting is one of the decisions I made this year was to launch my own record label.
You are
Zambia's
busy.
very own electronic music record label.
Just tell us about that. How does that work?
Yeah, so it's called Sosha Records, and we launched it, I think, end of Q1 this year. So it's also a very new brand. and a new label in the scene. It's a joint venture between two Zambian DJs. So myself, Creative Natives, a Zambian duo, and a German company, which has been in this game for a very long time. They own multiple record labels. And so they partnered with us to launch an Afro House label that carries the Zambian flag. And in fact, if you go onto social media and type in Sosha Records, you'll see that on our logo it says Sosha, and underneath the map of Zambia, the shape of Zambia.
I like.
So again, another proudly Zambian product. We have our very first label party, which is basically a launch party in December. So right at the start of the festive season. And 2025 will see a lot more action on the ground here in Zambia for Sosha Records. This year I kind of dedicated to 1964, one brand at a time.
Yeah, I know.
But next year there'll be a lot more stuff happening around Social Records.
Have you signed any artists, or is this something that you're planning to do in 2025?
So we've been signing so many songs with some incredible artists, nothing on an exclusive basis. It's more like licensing deals. We take your song, we take his song, we take her song. And the last release on Social Records is a very special collaboration with Mumbayachi, myself, and an American DJ from Miami. That's all I'm saying.
I can't wait. Mumbayachi is so creative, so I'm trying to imagine. You won't give us any hint?
We have covered an African classic.
Yeah.
And so that classic comes from the north of Africa, but we have adapted it to our region.
Okay.
So kind of stripped away the sounds of the north and added the sounds of central southern Africa.
Beautiful. I can't wait for that, because Mumbayachi brings it, and your sound is, I'm trying to imagine your sound and Mumbayachi's sound come together. All that creativity is something that we definitely be looking forward to. There was something that you mentioned in our last interview, and when I was listening, I was like, this is something, you talked about the songwriting camp that you used to do, I think, under Sony Music.
Yeah.
I think that is something that is very, very beautiful. And I feel like it's something that can be done in Zambia, that should be done rather.
Yeah.
Is it something that you would consider maybe coming to, help teach how it can be done? And is it something that you think about?
For sure, and I'm just going to take a few steps back. I think music education is a big issue that we need to talk about more. We need to address. Actually, not even talk, right? We need to just see some action around music education. And I hope fellow stakeholders in the music industry will see the value of educating the youngsters and educating themselves. We will never be able to say, I'm a master of music, I know it all.
Yeah.
I mean, my entire life, I'm going to be learning and being a student of music. I'll never reach a point. I'll tell you now, I'll never reach a point. And if I ever say something that dumb, that I'm a master of music, you should check me and play me this interview and be like, yo,
said you will never be a master.
You're lying. Because there's no way. It's too much. It's such a vast world, and that's the beauty. You can never learn it all. You can never understand it all. All you can do is learn as much as you can and explore and experiment. So with the songwriting camp, I've actually been thinking about it for a long time now. Back when I attended my first camp, it was just the excitement, being in my early to mid 20s, just excited to be at a songwriting camp because it's what all my idols had been talking about. But I didn't understand why it is so important. Now, it's actually difficult for me to find peace of mind in the city. My phone is blowing up, my email is blowing up, my mind is blowing up, there's so many things going on. So the whole point of a retreat, like a writing camp, a retreat, various artists do retreats, not just musicians, is to take yourself away from that buzz and isolate yourself with a group of artists or just alone and create. So next year I want to do some writing camps, probably under Social Records, where I take a bunch of musicians, writers, singers, instrumentalists, and we go to the river or the lake, and we just write for 3, 4, 5 days, a bunch of songs all day. That's all we're doing. Phones
everybody's
off,
just in their
no
creative
internet,
space.
Everyone's in the creative space, in a good mood, and feeding off of each other's creative energy. And then we come back to town, and we finish the production, and there you go. You got your songs.
I really think that would be a game changer for the industry, because there's something. I was chatting with Chameleon in the previous interview, and he was talking about how for them they were able to create very good albums back then because they were coming together. Like different artists will come and help Chameleon produce this. They'll help Chameleon write this. So it's basically something like that. They were not having a retreat, but to imagine even go somewhere else. So that makes a whole lot of sense, and I hope it does happen. what should we expect at You've Already Told Us? I don't know what else. What should we expect? Anything that you haven't said that you think is going to surprise us?
I think moving into the new year, obviously a lot of growth on the side of 1964, a lot of growth and some interesting marketing campaigns that we're looking at. From the point of view of social records, definitely a lot more visibility and a lot more releases moving into the new year as we solidify the position of the label in the Afro House scene. From a musical point of view, some really nice collaborations that I'm working on for 2025.
Yeah.
But the first one is now this last collaboration for 2024, which I'm so excited about. Because this song that we've covered is, for me, like a childhood, one of the sweetest childhood memories.
Yeah.
When I listen to it, it takes me all the way back
Nice.
to my childhood.
I
And that's
can't
a beautiful, it's a beautiful feeling.
Is
and
it going to be
highly
a video
sentimental.
and audio?
We'll see about a music video. We've definitely done a bunch of short form video content
Okay.
for the marketing campaign and some fun content because Mumbayachi is,
Yeah.
he's a genius. He's
Yeah.
crazy. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. And then of course, probably some surprises too. I mean, it's always a constant cycle of ideas, of opportunities, of trying to be different, of trying to experiment, trying to show my different sides, showcase my different sides. So who knows?
Yeah.
I'm excited too. I don't even know entirely how it's going to go.
Beautiful. What do you think of the Zambian music scene right now?
Yeah, I think we are in the perfect position to take ourselves more seriously than we ever have. In the sense that we need to stop thinking about the 20 million Zambians that live in this country and start thinking about the region, start thinking about the entire continent, start thinking about the entire world. You know, we have social media, we have access to fans in Uzbekistan. You know, I played a show in Uzbekistan this year. This has been the,
Really?
like,
What's
the most
the
random
official
location. Well, for the educated, it's Russian. But I do believe they all speak Uzbek as well. However, I got the impression, I was only there for a few days, that most educated people there who've been to high school, who've been to university, speak Russian. Because it's still within like the sphere of Russia's influence.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that we have access to fans everywhere, all over the world. We need to start thinking big. We need to start thinking internationally. And we also need to start unifying and supporting one another.
Yeah.
That is going to be critical for our success. You know, operating individually in the various sectors can take those individuals far, but it's not going to take the whole scene far.
Yeah,
The whole scene will kind of remain behind, because from a music industry point of view, when you think about Africa, you think about South Africa, Nigeria, and Kenya.
Yeah.
And now maybe North Africa as well. But Zambia doesn't even pop up in the top 10 probably,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't like that. And I'm doing my job in the electronic music scene to put Zambia in that top 5. You know, I do believe Zambia is in the top 10 when it comes to electronic music as it is right now. And we're not far from the top 5. There are not that many countries in Africa that are doing what we're doing in electronic music.
Nice.
But we're still super small. So for us to really come out and say, we've done it, we're here, you know, look at us, look what we've achieved, look what we are achieving, we need more unity.
I should think there's a way that you've branded yourself that gets you other people to trust you, to trust your works. Do you think, how have you done that? How have you made sure that you've placed your brand in such a way that, you create a brand, a gene, and people will trust and say, it's El Mukuka brand, I want to try it. El Mukuka is going to play in Spain, El Mukuka is going to play in this country, and people are still going to be able to listen to you.
Yeah.
Did you think that plays a role even in how other musicians will have to brand themselves to a point where even when they go to that country, somebody will still want to listen to them?
Yeah, I think branding is important. I think it comes down to reputation and how you carry yourself. You know, unfortunately, when you are a moving, breathing, talking brand, like when you are the brand, you have to watch what you do in public, sometimes even in private, what you do on social media. You know, reputation is constantly being checked. And that influences how other brands see you, how other brands wish to collaborate with you, how fans see you as well. And I think that's something I've tried to take seriously from the beginning. And I still do, especially now that there is more at stake, let's say. You know, the older I get and the more I spread my creative juices and entrepreneurial juices too. So reputation, that's key. And I hope that, you know, other Zambian people in this industry will share the same feeling about that, because it's important, especially the youngsters. You know, posting controversial content can definitely get you hype. And for some people, it's worked, you know? They've got millions of followers.
Yeah.
Everyone knows who they are.
Yeah.
But do brands want to work with them? Are they credible?
Yeah.
Do fans think of them as being solid people, you know, up here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess time will tell. So for me, I've kind of picked the non-controversial route, although I also stand by what I believe in. You know, if something is happening that I feel strongly against, I will voice myself, voice my opinions. I guess it's a personal decision for everyone, but this is the path I've chosen.
Nice. I like that. It was nice having you. Any last
Thank
words?
you. Well, just a big thank you. A big
Yeah.
thank you to people like you who've known me for so many years. We might have had the last interview 6 years ago, but we met back in the
Long
day at
time
ZMBC.
ago, yeah.
And it's people like you that have given me this platform and other platforms like this to help me grow, that have allowed me to get to where I am today, and still add a lot of power behind my wings to help me get to the next point in my career. And of course, all the fans watching, all the fans listening on radio, following on social media. I see you guys, I appreciate you guys, and I just want to say thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for the gin. We're definitely going to try it. Is there a way, do you like make cocktails out of it? Have you tried?
Yeah, I mean, you can do anything. Any gin-based cocktail will work with this. But I would highly encourage you to add orange. Instead of lemon and cucumber, put a slice of orange, because that's already the key botanical ingredient.
Yeah, okay. Craft gin. The mabuyu is in it. Amazing. I didn't expect that. That's something that I didn't expect. But all the best, and thank you. We can't wait to see the launch on, you said December, yeah?
Yeah.
For the launch for the record label, yeah?
December 6th.
Yeah, so we wish you the best, and we hope whatever you're teaching, others can learn, and we see Zambian music grow at a bigger stage.
Thank you. Thank you.
This has been your girl Helen. I've been chatting with El Mukuka. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Support Zambian. Let's go and get this gin and try it. From me, it's bye-bye.